Hey, hi, welcome. After playing Season Discovery even to the point of clearing all of the Scarlet Enclave, I, well, I want more. And with Season Discovery coming to an end, MOP isn't for me. And, well, Anniversary and Classic, I've done it many times via private servers and official servers, 2019 and so far. And I think now would be the perfect time to talk about my perfect Classic Plus. Your opinions may differ, but this is mine. I hope you enjoy the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into part 1, the World of Classic Plus. Let's begin. See, I've always loved original World of Warcraft, vanilla. It always just felt very classic to me. Not just for the gameplay, but for the atmosphere, the world building, the sense of mystery, if you will. Season of Discovery kind of was fulfilling that need. Even with Season of Discovery, it felt like pieces were missing. Zones that were planned and never finished. Stories that were hinted at and never told. I'm not interested in a rehash or a retail port. I want to see a vanilla that was original World of Warcraft and make Azeroth feel whole and complete. And I will give credit to Blizzard. They did a good job with Karazhan. I can go without the darkness mechanic in my version of Classic Plus. And even the Scarlet Enclave was an amazing raid, and all the quest lines leading up to it was great storytelling, and I want to see more of it. In my vision, Classic Plus is still vanilla at heart, but it grows outwards, not upwards. Still, no Northrend, no Outlands, no power creep, just expanding naturally with the zones, stories, factions, and, well, I want it to feel like it belongs there. In order for that to work, it has to be based off of these 3 core pillars. Pillar number 1 is preservation. We got to keep the original tone, art style, though I could go for a Legion art style, and progression philosophy. That's very important. Pillar 2, expansion. Finish and flesh out existing content that was left behind, like Oldham, Ashara Crater, Grim Batal, Hyjal, and many others. But how are we going to tell those stories? And that's about Pillar 3, which would be perspective. Let's tell a story of what happened with Azeroth while the heroes were gone through the, portal, or on that boat to Northrend, or what happened pre-Deathwing, right before it shadowed their world. Were there earthquakes? Were people suffering? Do we want to know more about what was about to happen from this perspective of never leaving Azeroth? The idea is, we acknowledge the expansions. The Burning Legion invaded Outlands, the Lich King rose in Northrend, or see the events prior to Deathwing shattering the world. We've already experienced what would happen to, let's say, Xalatath in Season of Discovery, or what happened right after Naxxramas with the Scarlet Crusade. And this is something that we should expand on. We should see more of what happened to the Scarlet Crusade, and maybe how they became the Scarlet Onslaught, or see how the Scarlet Crusade is affected by Northrend's horrors. See what happens with the Silverhand, or what happened with Timbermaw and Oldham. What's going on with Hyjal right before the Cataclysm. All these stories could be told through a perspective of what if you were the hero that stayed on Azeroth. Classic Plus lets us be able to explore those consequences without ever stepping off the Eastern Kingdoms or Kalimdor. A lot of zones were started, but never finished. And just a few right here I'm going to name that I would like to see, let's say, something done with them. Let's start with Hyjal. What was going on pre-Cataclysm? What was going on with the Emerald Dream there? Or the Residence prior to Cataclysm? How about Oldham? Before the Titans were revealed in Cataclysm. Focus on the ancient secrets and the history behind it, maybe hinting on what's going on in Northrend. Or Ashara Crater. If you don't want to change the way the zone is and turn it into a battleground, let's turn it into like something post-Highborn and see more secrets about the Highborn. That would be great for a level up zone. Grim Batal. Turn it into a dungeon or a raid, exploring its dark legacy post-Windhammer. And let's say Dragon Isles. Not the retail version though, something closer to the original concept art. Wild, forgotten, primordial. Or let's say the opening the gates of Gilneas. or Quel'Thalas, and let that be driven by world events and player actions similar to, let's say, Ankiraj. Here's another good one. What about turning Nomergon into a city? And we've already had it as a raid. Maybe you do the raid and you get to tell the story of how the gnomes reconquest their home and eventually open up a city hub. Let's tell more stories about, let's say, the Syndicate. Yeah, we all forgot about them. Why not tell a good story with the Syndicate via a class quest for rogues to learn Cloak of Shadows, for example? All in all, the world should feel alive and responsive. That's why they should add some sort of evolving zone events. And these shouldn't be like a grind loop. They should actually reflect real changes in the world, such as, let's say, refugees coming to a town because their Deathwing shifted and their city collapsed, so they're coming to your city because of that. Or the small Scarlet Crusade camps becoming fortresses. What about the Plague Lands slowly healing? And players are doing quests in the region in order to heal those lands. I would love to see a zone like Desolus become what it eventually became in Cataclysm, more lush and full of life. Classic Plus shouldn't be about bigger numbers or higher level caps. There should be no flying mounts, no overtuned itemization, no modern system overload. The goal is more to do, not more to outgear. And Season of Discovery, unfortunately, is a victim of this. In my perfect version of Classic Plus, the core is simple, really. What if we finally gave the vanilla world the attention and detail it really truly deserves? What if players were finally able to uncover the secrets that eventually led to these expansions? Rediscover old factions, such as the Timber Mall, and see what's going on with them, the Syndicate, and many others. What about the Twilight Hammer? And shape Azeroth's future from the perspective of never going through that portal, taking that boat, or coming back to a destroyed world. This isn't nostalgia. It's unfinished business. It's about honoring the world that made World of Warcraft a legend. Not a remake, a restoration. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I can go further into classes, or even the zones and the factions inside them, and where the direction they should go. Let me know what you think Classic Plus should be, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.